What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Double D's podcast. We are your host. I am D of D's Corner. This is my boy Damian Deshaun. What's up, Damian?
What's going on, man? How you doing today?
I'm making it, bro. I'm making it, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Just mellowing out on this day. Uh, it's a slow day in the news, but if you follow in college, it's a big day. It's Portal Day, so you
Portal
get a
Day. I
lot of
saw.
name. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying Portal Day. I saw six players from Colorado transfer. What news you got on the
Um,
NCAA market?
I know the kid that y'all had at Alabama, since you are a closet Alabama fan. uh, Caden Proctor, which we knew about maybe about a month ago. He left to Iowa. Well,
He
apparently
came
he
back.
he came back. Now it's officials in the portal, so he's coming back. You're gonna get it's about five players from Louisville. They hit the portal. It's certain teams in need, certain teams that programs that don't. Uh, it's just one of them days. It's you waiting to see what your program go, who's leaving your program, and who's gonna fill that spot. But I will put this out
Right.
there for those who watch and some who come with a mind to think every kid that hits the portal, it isn't because they want money. Two, they're not happy. A lot of times, it's what's not talked about is a lot of these players and kids are pushed out. It's a way. It's just like the NFL. It's cut day, and some of
Yeah.
these players get cut, and we, as the basic unknown fan, you think that every kid who hits the portal is greedy or just don't they suck or they suck. No, it's we over recruited you. You have some talent, but you're the floor. We want to raise the floor, or you're not as good as
Right.
what we brought in. The coach will sit down and have everybody doesn't know there's exit interviews after every season, every program, every coach. Do you want to stay here or you can't stay here? What do I need to do to get you to stay here? And hey, you need to seek opportunity elsewhere. Helm playbook to the left, shoulder pass to the right. That's the that's the nature of college football, and I think a lot of times I'm kind of tired, man, of hearing everything get blamed on these kids. It's been a
Yeah.
wildfire with the portal. It's a wildfire with NIL, but a lot of the naysayers had nothing to say when coaches bounce, had nothing to say for the past 5, 6 decades when the industry was making dollar amounts and upon dollar amounts off of the backs of college athletes. Now that college athletes can now make any kind of income in a capitalist society, it's a problem. And it really annoys me because of it. I would say, yeah, there's some regulation that may need to go just to balance things out. But when you sit here and try to tell someone in this country that they can't earn off of fair market value, it's BS. It's bullcrap
Off of themselves.
off of themselves, but it's fair
Yeah.
market. It's whatever the market sets, and what when the market set, whatever it is what it is. And this is today's college football. So all of these coaches getting out and complaining and all of this stuff. I ain't gonna say no names, but they get out and they go on
Call them
Capitol
out.
Hill. They go Nick Saban, one of them.
Mhm.
It's various coaches. It's not just that, but they refuse to adjust. They refuse to go along because they don't want to keep recruiting their roster. But when the shoe was on the other foot, they were taking advantage of it. Now that it seems to be an even playing field where programs who may not have the status of notoriety, but they have endowments and they have money that they can make stuff happen, you can't then turn around and get mad. I'm like, so the money was going under the table well before the portal and NIL. There's numerous stories of players getting paid to go to said school or said university to play. So
Right.
this isn't a new issue. It's just an issue that is now on the table. It's in front of us. And people don't like what they see. They rather it stay in the dark where it was, where the coaches can get all the power, the administration gets all the powers, and the players have very little. They still have very little in this. That's the thing. These NIL entities, that some of these deals, man, I'm telling you, when you hear these stories about these kids getting 3 million from it, that's a lie. A lot of these are 360 deals behind the scenes, man. These kids, these players get screwed, man. They get locked in these deals they can't get out. That's why some of these kids you see enter the portal and all of a sudden they go back in. They go back to where they were.
Right.
Because, I'm going in the portal and a day later, oh no, I'm not. Because either something got worked out or they couldn't get out of that deal they were in, and they don't read the fine print. And then some of it is also their legal advisory. You can't have your uncle down the street and sometimes even your mom or your dad advising you in a room full of people who got lawyers. You need to bring a lawyer
Right.
and get this stuff done right. But that's just my take on college, man, and just where we're at. Like I said, it's big portal day. We had some spring games. We have spring games this week coming up, and then we'll get ready for the fall and the upcoming college season. And we'll touch on that when we get to it, because this is an NFL based show, but we touch on all things football,
All football.
all football. But, man, I'm gonna bring it up and then I'll let you elaborate on it. The
Let me
CD
touch on
Lamb.
that. Let me touch on that on the portal thing.
Okay,
Because
go ahead. Go ahead.
we rarely talk college football, which we're not
Yeah.
opposed to. You're just a little more versed on it than I am. But
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is just I was a college athlete. I
Mhm.
know how it is. I wasn't at no big school, and your day is structured.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. You got to wake up. You got to do workouts. You got to do this. You got film before breakfast. Then you got to try to get to breakfast, get to class. You got to be done with class by a certain time. So
Mhm.
you really don't have an opportunity to make any kind of money. My thing is that these coaches, if they were really about these players, like we all know Cam Newton, Tebow, Reggie Bush,
Mhm.
Johnny Manziel, things like that. But what about those players who have career-ending injuries, life-altering injuries
Mhm.
before Justin Ross?
Yeah.
Justin Ross, if he would have been able to make anything off of the NIL, because if I'm not mistaken, it was applied after he had a neck injury,
Mhm.
which cost him uh, his final season at Clemson, getting drafted because he was probably the best as a freshman. He was
One of the
on
best wide
on a
receivers.
trajectory of
Yeah.
being like a really good, at least a first, second round pick in the
Yeah.
draft, and then he goes on and he gets undrafted.
Yeah.
So you got to think you go from there being up here to
Mhm.
now you're bottom. You're the
Yeah.
bottom tier, and what I think of is what other degree, if you will, because at the end of the day, we can BS it all we want. These college athletes go to college anticipating going pro in whatever sport that they're in.
Yep.
We don't even have to just talk football. Literally every freaking sport, you
Mhm.
anticipate becoming a professional.
Yeah.
If well, we can stick to football, but even baseball, basketball, or anything like that, what
Mhm.
other what other degree what other degree
Mhm.
do you walk out of college with and go right into being a millionaire?
I
The
can't think of any other degree like that. You're gonna have to intern and all of that stuff and earn your way
right,
up, and yeah.
right. And if you think about it, if you're in dental school, doctor school, or
Mhm.
medical school, anything like that, I said doctor school. Anyways, anyways, you're going through and you're learning the ins and out of your profession, what will be
Mhm.
your profession.
Mhm.
If you're coming into college as a football player, the game of football doesn't change from college to NFL outside of you can fall and get up if you're not touched. Only difference in the rules
Yeah.
as far as on the field.
Yeah.
Off the field is where these kids have no guidance. They really have no um, experience. In my opinion, the NIL is good for them. It's
Yeah.
good for them because now you understand. Oh, okay. It's like if you go to Walmart and all the groceries could talk.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? They're the product. These players have been the product, and now they're understanding. Like, hold on, without me, this game is nothing. How are
Nothing.
you making out? How are you making everything. What have you done? What work have you put in? Where were you at those 4 o'clock meeting, those 4 a.m. workout sessions, those 5:30 meetings, those 6 o'clock teams meetings, individual meetings, all of that before classes even start. And then your day is taken up until midnight because you have freaking study hall. Where can I really learn the ins and out of my profession? Because in the NFL, it's a money-driven profession. NBA, money-driven. MLB, money-driven. Hockey, everything is money-driven. Where am I going to learn? This is why you have so many athletes who have had wealth and lose it because they're not equipped for it outside of them playing football. Now these young kids are learning money from the very beginning. So in my opinion, I think it's good. NCAA, you guys screwed yourselves by being greedy. Think about it. Maurice Claret. Look where he's at now. If he had NIL, where do you think he could have been? You see what I'm saying? Like, the only NFL player that I can think of who got a whole bunch of money was Sam Bradford. He was that last quarterback before they implemented the rookie wage scale, where he was coming in making a killing. Every time that he's gotten traded or anything like that, he made a ton of money in the NFL and wasn't like that. But think about how many players who the NFL stands for not for long.
Yeah.
So if I go in for 3 years, if I go to the NFL in 2 years, the average career is 3 years. What if something happens to me in 2 years? If I didn't have my money, but if I balled out in college and I have something, a nest egg or something to fall back on, everyone's not a Myron Rolle where they're going to be a Rhodes Scholar and an athlete. Everyone's not going to be going into the medical field from the NFL.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of these kids don't come from the best of backgrounds, the best of upbringing. Some of them are their family's ticket out of their current situation.
Yeah,
and like like you have to think all these kids who had career-ending injuries. It's the guy from Rutgers, special teams, broke his neck, rest of his life in a wheelchair.
I can't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. Rest of his life in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you got a lot of stories like that.
It's a lot of stories like that, but how much money was made on their backs? They didn't get a taste of it. They didn't get a taste of it. But see, if they were, me and you talked earlier, we were talking about how I saw they were trying to project like a one major super conference or something, only for them to be able to try to control the NIL money.
Yeah,
I should have been trying to do this from jump. If it was truly about the players, and I coach youth sports. I see it all the time in youth sports. If it's truly about the kids, why are we so focused on this and not what's helping them?
That's true.
If it's truly about the players, why are you so focused on the money instead of this? Now I understand that you have some players, but again, put yourself, like for Nick Saban, for example. Put yourself in those kids' shoes. I know he has a ton of success stories. One that he talks about is Mushin Muhammad. When he was at Michigan State, people wanted him to get kicked off the team, and now he's the president of a company and X, Y, and Z. That's great that you were able to give him a second chance and understand that, this and that. But right now, like all these coaches, like Chip Kelly going to be the Ohio State OC because he doesn't want to deal with
NIL and all that
issues
stuff.
of NIL as a head coach.
Coaching responsibilities. Yeah.
So you have no problem going into these kids' homes who are less than financially than you, and you have a problem with them asking, well, what else can you provide for me besides education and football? Because everybody's offering education and football.
Well, let me interject on that, bro, because this is where you have a case of traditionalists and fundamentalists versus progression. People hate progression. History tells us any kind of progression is always fought. And ain't just in the sports world. It's just our society. It's the nature of man, where we always hate change and people fight change. You hear a person who's a fan, your average fan, or sit here and beat to their chest to the top of the hill about what's wrong with NIL, why this and this with these players, but sat there, as I said, and will say nothing when a coach, as you said, goes into this his or her home, gets them to commit to their school, and then about a year or two later, that coach has took another job, a better job for more money.
Deuces. Yeah.
That is, in this current system we live in, that is the system. They're operating within the system. So you can't, this is not one of them that's going to get economical or too political. But when you have those on one side who scream capitalism to the top of the mountain, but then doesn't want certain parts of the community, and I'm not talking about this as a race thing, I'm just talking about as a
Race,
community of
right.
people. I'm talking about a community of people. You don't want certain members in your community to have access to that same system. That's bullshit. It really is. It's bullshit. Either we all work the system and operate within the system, or don't sit here and tell me how this system is better than every other system. Because we can sit here and get political and talk about how other systems get or don't match up, or how this system is evil. You understand what I'm saying? But then when we see the actual examples of the system working and people working that system, you can't then get mad. You just have to
Right.
roll with the punches and accept the progression. And that's the way I see it. I'm like, if a kid leaves the program that I support, then they leave the program I support. But not all of the time. I understand that they're not leaving on their own. Sometimes they are asked to leave, you know. And
Right.
then when you get into NIL, it's like not every kid want money. Not every kid wanted this.
Exactly.
Some of them wanted to stay there. And a lot of the times the ones that are getting pushed out aren't the big dogs. Them the ones that are on the practice squad or was expected to develop into a starter or a second on the depth chart, and they didn't pan out. So they're fourth on the depth chart. They see themselves as a senior. Wait a minute, I'm a senior. I just got knocked down. My reps got taken last year. They're going to get taken more this year. I got to go find some place that I can play and maximize that ability, because it goes back to what you said. Every kid's dream is going pro in the sport that they're
Everyone.
participating in. So if I want an opportunity to at least get my foot in the door in the pros, I can't do it still being third string here, getting 20 reps on the whole season.
Exactly.
So, I
And
mean, I can understand it.
that's the thing. Like, and I actually saw. I don't know if this is going to be implemented this year or if it's just something that they're talking about or tossing around, but they were talking about changing the NIL rules altogether to where, not the NIL rules, the transfer rules, to where you can transfer as many times you want and be immediately eligible. And the thing is, why not? Why would you? I never understood that from jump. If they were transferring down, transferring up, transferring across, for them having to sit out a year or anything like that, because you don't do it to coaches. You don't
That's
do
in
it to
play
coaches.
now. That's in play now. You
So
can
it is.
transfer, yeah, as long as they're changing the windows, just like they were changing the signing day windows again. I have to go back and get the actual dates, because a lot of coaches do want those dates because it puts so much on them with bowl prep, signing
Mm-hmm.
day, and all of that. But as far as the windows and transfers, from what my understanding is, you can transfer multiple times. There, there are guys who just went into this winter portal and are on programs that are going to enter the portal again. There are
For
freshmen
spring.
who signed, yeah, for spring. There already have been freshmen who signed their letter of intent, showed up early enrollees, and are already talking about putting their name in the portal and going
And,
elsewhere.
and see, for your word, the traditionalist,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that, because if you go to a job,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately you're going to this school. They're recruiting you to this school, so they're putting on the whole dog and pony show.
Pony show.
If I get
Mm-hmm.
here, if I get here, and you promised me X, Y, and Z, and I'm doing my part, and X, Y, and Z is not lining up, and you're not offering me an explanation or anything like that. And I've
Mm-hmm.
seen it, man. My senior year in high school, we went back to back state champions my junior and senior year.
Mm-hmm.
After our senior game, our head coach told our seniors, we had 22 seniors, 23 seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Seniors, I don't want to see y'all back in this field house.
Wow.
From here on out, Y'all want to work out? Go to the basketball weight room.
Wow.
So that he could usher us out and start
Mhm.
leaning on whatever juniors were going to be upcoming seniors and
I
present.
got you.
They usher
Mhm.
but they do this crap all the time. They do this
Yeah.
crap all the time. A coach can leave. Saban can
Yeah.
go from LSU to the Dolphins to Bama and not have to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Why I never understood why they did that to players, because you put a player in a position to where you're kind of we can talk about the money, but you're controlling these kids' lives.
Exactly.
You're controlling these kids' lives. Their professional career is in your hands. I've never understood that, because it's not like that with any other profession.
Mhm.
It's not like that
Uh,
with any other profession. They're almost treated like
It's
cattle.
meat. Meat.
Yeah,
It's meat
they've been
market. That's
cattle.
what it is.
They've been cattle
That's
for a
what it
while.
is.
So
Think
now
about it, man.
now it's not fun when the rabbit got the gun, so to
Yeah,
speak.
exactly. I mean, you think
It's
about
not fun when they got the gun.
think about the combine. That ain't nothing but the stockyards, man. You got you
Yeah,
got these young men dressed down in their skivvies, almost naked, running around getting measured and looked at by a bunch of rich men.
right.
You know what I mean? And also something to go back on what you're talking about transferring. Think about the average student at that same said university. They can enroll, get accepted, go through blase, go through their class, and decided, okay, 2 years later, I want to transfer to school X. No
This
problem.
school ain't for me. I want to be closer
Yeah,
to home
I
or
want to be
whatever the
closer
case
to
may
home.
be.
And this is just the average regular student, non-athlete. They don't have those
Mhm.
same stipulations that the athletes have. It is about control.
When we were in school, when I was in college, if you transferred, the coach had to approve it.
Approve it. I know.
So if you're pissed at me and you don't approve it, I can leave as a student, but now I can't play sports anymore.
Yeah. Or they'll block where you can go. You can go
Or
here,
that block
here,
where you
here,
can
here, here,
go.
here. Yep. But you can't
Yeah,
go to
what
a
kind of
rival. You can't go to in the what is it, intersection in the league. I mean,
yeah.
the SEC has a rule like that where as far as transferring complete, I think it's a special stipulation, but transferring within the conference is not necessarily the vogue thing. So they kind of got strict rules to that
Yeah.
within that conference. You can transfer out of the conference, no problem. But to elaborate on the power too, right now you got a situation with a lot of legal issues going on. College realignment is still at its height. It's slowed down a little bit as far as any new programs leaving one conference for the other. But as you know, you got two power conferences. That's the Big Ten and the SEC, which make up the majority of the most watched, not only the most watched programs, but your most notable national championship type programs. There's only a few programs outside of those two conferences that have multiple national championships. Two of them lie in the SEC, in the ACC. I'm trying to think. The Big 12, no, there is no multiple national championship winner in the Big 12 now. The Big
Right.
12 right now would be considered your third conference. I would expect realignment to come within the next 3 years. I would look at the next 3 years. Of course, you got legal issues going on with the ACC, FSU, Clemson. You got you have situations where like Washington State and Oregon State are still sitting out there without a conference because they got left out of that grouping when the
With
Pac-12
the pack.
split. Yeah, when the Pac broke up, teams went to the Big Ten, and then the rest was gobbled up by the Big 12. Um, but those two didn't seem desirable. I can understand they're looking at people don't want to look at it as a marketing issue. For example, I give a program I follow, FSU. It's a lot of fan base that think that the SEC, which is a proper venue when you talk about geographically for FSU to be in, uh, regionality wise, but when you're talking about switching two power conferences going, one wants to be a national brand, national. Big Ten wants to be national.
Right.
They now stretch to California, Washington, Oregon. They stretch from basically their conference touches LA and New York. When you add Rutgers in, that gives you the New York market, the New Jersey, New York market.
Right.
They want their footprint now down south, which is the SEC's
Especially
territory.
especially since you have the SEC network, the Big Ten
Yeah,
network. You used to have the Pac
yeah,
12 network. So
yeah.
again, it all, and that's was my issue with it all, is because it all boils down to money.
Yeah, it's
If it was about the best football being played, they would the schedule makers would go from the top 25 and have them
hmm
play each other.
yeah,
Stop having Georgia playing uh Tennessee Chattanooga. Paying
yeah,
them, and
small
that's the thing.
schools.
You pay them smaller schools. You pay the school a bunch of money to come get their heads
Mhm.
beat in, but those players don't see none of that money. Those are the ones getting
You're
their
right.
ass beat in. The
Yeah,
coaches ain't getting their heads beat in. The athletic directors aren't getting, the deans, the presidents, and all that of the schools. They ain't out there getting concussions and broken arms and rolled ankles and all that stuff. They're just
yeah,
reaping the benefits. You're reaping
yeah.
the benefits of it. So I
That's a
personally like
double-edged
it.
sword too, though, man.
Yeah,
If you think
that's what
about
I
it,
say.
because
I like
the
it.
program's lifeblood depends on like those smaller schools like that, man. If they don't get that 500,000 or that $1 million that Alabama gave Tennessee Chattanooga, you understand? Then
Hmm.
that helps sustain not only their men's programs but their women's Title IX.
Right,
So now you're talking about Title IX getting involved, and it's helping the bigger picture. But I get it though; it isn't fair to the player because you're like, I got to get my ass beat for 60 minutes, so you can funnel money throughout the school, and my self-esteem, morale, dang, I suck. We suck. You thinking you can come up and play with this team, but then you get shown real quick. It ain't always that way, or the way you think. You're gonna go out and give it your best, but it's just you getting off the bus. This ain't nothing but a check game. So let's
right.
go in
And
here and get in
a,
here and
a
try not
check
to
that
get
I ain't
hurt.
gonna touch.
Yeah, try not to get hurt. That's the whole
Yeah,
thing. Try not to get hurt. We still got a division or a conference to try to win. Don't try to play hard in this game. To let these boys get up
right.
30, 40, and roll out their backups, and we just coast to a
Start putting a
Yep.
freshman in.
Yeah, we put ours in, get some development and see. But
Hmm.
that is what it is, man. Anything you want to touch more on college before we shift over a little bit?
No, that's it. I'm ready. I'm ready for it to start. I want to see how these playoffs, how they want to do these playoffs, and see who's gonna moan and complain come
Yeah.
December.
I see that the WNBA had a draft last night too. If
Yeah,
I know you don't keep up with basketball, I don't keep up with basketball as far as women's basketball too hard, but enough to congratulate, as I say, congratulate to all of those who were drafted last night
right.
and endeavors in their careers. Um, Dallas, the Cowboys, more drama. It seems like you get
Yeah,
past
jumping
one
into it
drama.
now.
Yeah, it seems like you get past one object of drama of Jerry doing what he does, smear campaign on his players to try to lower the market value. To CD now knowing his value and most likely gonna, I don't know, I won't use the word hold out, but he may skip some stuff to try
You're
to
gonna
get a
hold
point
in.
across. Yeah, he gonna hold in. He gonna skip some stuff to get his point across. And him being the biggest offensive weapon that Dallas has, that's not good because it really affects everything that they do, all the way down to OTAs, draft, all of that. What do you do? Um, Me personally, I understand it. I get it. I get it. Because you just can't, we can't sit here and say for one area we don't get, we get it, and then here we don't. He wants more
Right.
money, but he wants more money. There, it's a mess right now because you got so many holes to fill, and you got the Dak situation. Sometimes you just look at it as players, you understand that, okay, how can we all get paid a fair amount where we can keep it together and try to win? And some players just go to the point, man, we ain't gonna win nothing, so I might as well just get paid. You know, I look at that with
Some of
Dallas.
those play. Some of those players.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, some of those players are realistic players. Like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, if you're Dak, do you really, for like the stuff that people, your teammates, family has said,
Hmm.
stuff Jerry has said, I'm not taking that. I'm not. I don't. Even, I don't. You're right. Let me play this last part out because now what you gonna do with CD? What you gonna do with Micah? Because if CD holds out, you don't think Micah gonna hold out?
Yeah.
Micah gonna want to get paid too. Micah already has dealt with nicks and knacks, just how he's been utilized, going up against the hog mollies on a regular basis. not really being utilized in space. Not, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. And Cee Dee's not the only wide receiver. There's talks of Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
possibly holding out. Cortland Sutton, Jamar
Mm-hmm.
Chase, T. Higgins,
Yeah.
all these Brandon Ayuk, all these guys who want paid, deserve to be paid,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't. But see, this is why I was saying a couple of weeks ago we were talking. Is the wide receiver position going to start looking how the running back position looks? Not saying
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to be irrelevant. So the running back position is considered irrelevant
Mm-hmm.
or is diminished. Are wide receivers going to be so relevant that we're like, we can get three decent ones and put something together? We don't necessarily need one
One
star.
elite. Mm-hmm.
Right. You know what I'm saying? If we get three good wide receivers and we can spread out 2,000
Mm-hmm.
yards amongst the three, I don't really need a 2,000-yard receiver.
Okay.
You see what
Let
I'm
me
saying? That's
propose.
what the Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill.
Let me propose this though, with the argument of the irrelevancy of the running back. I just really, as you said, that thought about it. It's not really the irrelevancy of the position. It's the irrelevancy of the actual way to gain yardage, because we become it's the NFL such a pass happy league,
Yep.
and in the short passing game is an extension of the run game. So you basically, that's why the running back got devalued. The run game got devalued. You mean you still have
Right.
to run the ball in the playoffs to establish a run. It's still key, but the way you used to run the ball, it's not as prevalent anymore as as it is today, because with the dynamics of the offense and how dynamic offenses have become. Like I said, with the extension of the run game being the short passing game, whether it be screens, flares, any kind of outs, the short passing game to the
Mm-hmm.
back, you can supplement the run game with that. Um, so I get what you're
Jet
saying
sweeps,
though.
touch pass.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that the receiver position will ever get to that point, because it's such a pass happy league and you gotta have elite level. But I do understand what you're saying. If I can get three good ones, they can subsidize one great one. So you don't have to have great ones. Just give me a good one and two solid. Give me a good number two and two number threes, and we can work with that. Especially if you have an elite level quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, that can make everyone around him better.
And see,
I
that's the
get what you're
thing.
saying.
And look, well, if you look at it, the reason why I said not necessary, I'm not saying it would be devalued. The running back position is not necessarily a dependent position. Wide receiver is.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Wide receiver, running back, you turn hand the ball to him. Now,
yeah.
you can. I guess if you want to nick and knack and pick, you can say it's dependent on a good line and blocking and this and that. But
Hmm.
a wide receiver cannot touch the ball if he doesn't have a quarterback to get him to the
Yeah.
ball. Get him the ball. We're coming
Hmm.
up on draft. Malik Neighbors was talking about if the Giants draft him. He's like, well, I'm sure they'll want to do something with quarterback. They'll want to get somebody who can get me the ball.
Hmm.
What good does Marvin Harrison do if he goes to Minnesota right now with Sam
Got you.
Darnold?
Yeah, that's
You
no
see what I'm
good.
saying?
Yeah.
That's no good. But if I have a decent quarterback, I don't think Dak's an elite quarterback. I think he's good. Look at Kirk Cousins. Look at the numbers Kirk Cousins put up. Kirk Cousins is a
Hmm.
decent quarterback. Look what he put up with the talent around him.
Yeah.
Now, how he see, I think it should be player, not necessarily position. Because at the end of the day, the quarterback position is going to be the most important position, no
Hmm.
matter what team you're on. That's the most important position. That's why we're talking about doing these mock drafts and stuff of people trading up to try to get them and find their guy.
Yeah.
But what happens when your guy is Kirk? What happens when your guy is that? They
Yeah.
don't really get us anything. Sure, you put up some numbers. You did well in the regular season, but when the postseason comes, you're nowhere to be found. Then what do we do?
They ride
So
it out. They choose to ride it out, I guess. Either ride it out or
right.
cut weight,
But
Yeah.
I can't have a average quarterback or even above average quarterback and pay him top dollar.
And that's what's
You know what I'm
happening.
saying? Like that I don't understand.
That's what's happening. You
Right,
got a lot of average
right,
I mean, but you got to look at it in the league today. You got a lot of backups that make a lot of good money that really shouldn't even be backups. You got a lot of mediocre backups that wouldn't be backups 15 years ago. I'm like, you can't
right,
play. I'm not saying any names, but we all know those are backups out there that really shouldn't even have a cup of coffee in the league, but maybe they know the X's and O's, their future coach. It's something that's keeping them on there, an intangible that they have that's keeping them on the roster, you know. Because we've seen it. It's
right.
been several quarterbacks. You're like, okay, you were drafted first round, now you're a backup, but what do you bring to the table? You know, you got to
Right.
make yourself, what is it, valuable somewhere else, and that's what it seems to be. But as you were saying, it's such a pass happy league, as I said. What are your most important positions? All involve the pass. It's either the passer, pass catcher,
All
pass
of them.
rusher, or pass protector, or pass defender. That's your defensive back, your left tackle, your pass rusher, your edge rusher, yeah, your quarterback, and your wide receiver. It's because it's
Yep.
such a pass happy league. And it's crazy because being able to be old enough to have seen how the NFL changed, and that
How
changed
it
it went
evolved.
about when you had, yeah, how it evolved. I mean, you went from a running back that runs, you could have two or three running backs in the league, if not four or five, that run for 1,500 yards, 1,600 yards. That was a norm. 20
Well,
plus
Damian Thomason
touchdowns.
had 21
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, the Emmett Smiths, 1,700 yards, 20 plus touchdowns. I mean,
Adrian
how many running
Peterson,
backs?
Chris
Adrian
Johnson.
Peterson, Jamal Lewis ran for 2,000 yards. Yeah. I
Chris
mean,
Johnson ran for 2,000.
yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry is probably the last of a dying breed as far as what we think of running backs, unless they are super exceptional uh, at
It's
that
like a bell
position. That
cow.
Yeah, that demands the carries.
Hmm.
I don't think you'll see no more than you'll see running back by committee. You even see that more in college today. College is the same way. It's a reflection of the NFL, but you used to see you still see it in some capacity of the one guy. But a lot of times now, to
Hmm.
preserve these guys' bodies, because they've increased the number of college games that are played now, that they're now, okay, we got to be at least three deep at running back to be able to preserve the starter's body, not only for our future success on the field in college, but his aspirations of going pro. We got to take some of this tread off of him. And running backs coming out of high school are looking at that more now too. Some of them still want majority of the carries, but they're seeing it. Okay, if I'm exceptional with my 15 carries and continue to be consistent, that's less tread on me getting into a league that no longer values my position anyway. So that allows
Right.
me to maximize what I'm doing in college, translating to the NFL, and I don't have a lot of dings and bruises. So I can then at least get to another contract.
Yep.
Yeah. But man, I'm trying to think. Because I know we just had spring. I know FSU spring is this week. Georgia had a spring game. Alabama spring game. I'm going back to college. I'm kind of floating a little bit, just trying to think here. Um, but no, I'm gonna go back to NFL. I want to touch
Hmm.
what the Rashay
You
Rice
good?
situation. Uh, give me a little bit more detail on what you know. I know he did turn himself in, but like you said, you told me offline that he was on bond. Anything else you know about that?
The only thing that I know of as of right now, I think he's got 8 different charges. Two
Hmm.
two of them I think can take like a maximum of 10 years apiece or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, to be honest with you, man, I just saw 2 families are suing him that were involved in the crash,
Hmm.
for maybe $2 million a piece or something like that. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't see how this young man. Luckily, he didn't hurt anybody
Yeah.
severely as far as or take someone's life. I know there was a SMU player with him who is now suspended or kicked off the team. Um,
Hmm.
I don't see how he doesn't go to jail. To be honest
Wow.
with you, with that many
Wow.
people recording it, him walking
Yeah.
away. You had no like he'll have to have Johnny Cochran's air somewhere to get off of this. To be like completely
Wow.
honest with you, and I mean, I hate to say it because he's so young,
Hmm.
but he kind of he deserves he deserves it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like how do you not? How do we talk about Henry Ruggs? You
Hmm.
know, every time something like this happens, you talk about Henry Ruggs. Andy Reid is his coach. His son is in jail for
Hmm.
killing someone or hurting someone in a DUI.
Yeah.
This screw the fact that it happened in the NFL. It happened within your team.
Hmm.
This has happened within your team, within your head coach. Like you're young, and the thing is, he wasn't a first round pick, so it's not like he's sitting in on $50 million immediately.
You just threw your career
You're
away off
coming
of this.
off of you could have possibly thrown your career away.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs was a first round wide receiver.
Yeah.
He lost his money. He lost his career. He lost years of his life. I can't even imagine like mentally what that's doing or what it has done to him to take a life.
Hmm.
You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And
Yeah. At such a young age
in the
too, in the
manner
manner
of
it
which he
happened.
did, with the car
Yeah.
being engulfed and all that and flames, like at such a young age, you could Rasheed Rice, you could have killed families,
Yeah.
and then you just left. You were good, you left. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's just, and
In a
it's
courtroom
one way or
that could
another. It's gonna be a
play
lot
out.
of.
Yeah.
That's why I
In a
say.
courtroom
That's why I
that
say
can play out.
I don't see how he avoids jail time.
Yeah.
I don't see
So
how
ma-
he avoids jail time.
so in that, and it really was scary. It's scary for him. I'm not gonna devalue what happened to those families and what happened in the incident. It's scary for him, but it's also because you're looking at not only his time, but now the Chiefs are gonna sit there and weigh whether they should keep him on the roster. One, I mean that's insignificant, but if we're just talking about the sports side, yeah, this draft's coming up. It's a deep wide receiver core. He was just on his first year. We might go on and just replace it. We got the best quarterback in the game throwing the ball. We can find something else. We don't need this kind of baggage. Go on and cut ties. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but we know how this works. He's not a marquee name. He's not the best receiver in the game, so they don't have to stick by him. He was not a first round draft pick. They have no serious amount of money invested in him right now. It's
And
scary. Hmm.
any money that they have invested, they can write off as
Yep.
conduct detrimental to the
Detrimental to
team
the team or to the league. Yeah, they can void.
or to
This
the
is
league. Yeah,
avoidable. Yep, avoidable in his contract. He
and
does
that's the
and
thing.
understand. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say was he this is messing with not his the generational wealth gap for him and his family, immediate family, whatever, extended family, because he's not even in the league long enough to get that pension either. You got to do 5 years to get that.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's a crap load of money, but I mean, he's not even made yet. Bro, you're not made in the league and you're out here acting like this and doing it. The worst thing you did was walk away. I mean,
Worse.
stay in the situation, deal with the situation, but because you left the situation, seen an accident in which no one was hurt, but people could have been killed.
There
Yeah,
was people who left people left in the ambulance, but I don't think there was anyone seriously injured.
yeah,
But
but yeah,
nowadays with mental health issues and things of that
hmm
nature, like, and this is somebody speaking with PTSD from my time in the military, especially, bro. When I was in that Humvee wreck, like, if I
hmm
wasn't driving, I freaked out. I'd sweat. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Everything.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? There's like kids impressionable. Like there's so much. The car company that he leased the vehicles with can sue him
yeah,
if you know what I'm saying. There's already two families that are suing him. If I'm not mistaken, it was 6 different vehicles involved.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Those insurance companies consume like you open up a big can of worms. You bit off more than you can chew and step on something you can't get off your shoe. That's realistically it. And like I said, we just talked about in this draft coming up, there's talks about 10 to 12 first round talented receivers.
Yep.
So the very least you'll be suspended
For a
the season,
year or
in my
something.
opinion.
Yeah. For a year at the minimum while he deals with the
At least
legalities.
if you're suspending players for gambling on games, the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
What would you do for this when we just saw Andy Reid's son, before his son, Henry Ruggs, how many countless others? Dante Stallworth. A lot of people don't remember Dante Stallworth killed an elderly man in a DUI.
Leonard Little
spent time in prison, but then came back. Leonard Little.
Yeah.
Dante Stallworth actually came back and was able to play again.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Vick's gone to prison and come back, but his wasn't something hurting people. His was with dogs,
animals.
But the fact that Rasheed Rice, and it's in Texas.
Yeah.
And you're in Texas. You're going that fast. You're racing. Yeah. And you walked away like, I got kids, man. I don't know how I would even have conducted myself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the apology that was issued or whatever, like, stand in your mess, man. I tell you all the time, like if I do something, man, I'm just gonna have to stand in it. Like I can't ask someone else to take fault for what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I don't know, man. I don't understand who some of these guys run with, the people who are in their life like.
Yeah, man.
Because I couldn't have been his homeboy. One, I don't even like going fast like that. I had a homeboy he had a truck. We'd be in his truck, be doing 90. I'm like, nigga, hey, nigga, what you trying to prove? What you trying to prove, bro? You better chill.
Yeah.
You better slow this whole down. Matter of fact, I tell you what, stop. I get out. We're on the interstate. I get out.
You
I get out. I'll walk
you
home.
Cuba Gooden and Boys in the Hood. Yo, let me out. Yo, let
all
me
the
out.
time. All the time, bro. I seen too much stuff growing up, man. I've seen too much stuff. Y'all ain't listen. This is my life. This life belongs to me. I'm not giving you no chance of messing it up or doing something stupid. And then back in the early 2000s and whatnot, when I was 15, 16, they took both of us to jail. He was the one driving. Y'all better take him.
You're right.
He was driving. I ain't got no steering wheel, no gas, no brakes over here. But I tell mom, anytime around my wife, hey, slow the hell down. Slow down. You're going a little too fast. My kid's like, Daddy, why you always driving? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there safely. And we left early enough. We ain't got to rush.
Yeah. But man, anything else you want to add on?
Rush, but prayers up to those families. Prayers up to those families that were involved in the Rasheed Rice thing. It's just, I don't, like I said, maybe there is something, on the other side of this for him. He got lucky. He didn't kill anyone or seriously injure somebody physically. But of course, now, and I mean, when I talk about things like this, I like to be complete. I want to talk about the whole thing. He messed up, but let's be serious. It's going to be some of them people who in there who didn't really have any issues, but now they know.
Oh, they looking for a payday.
It's an NFL player. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's an NFL player. Oh yeah. I'm hurt too. Yeah. I can't sleep at night. All that. So
yeah. Trauma, like you said, that trauma. They gonna come up with some trauma. Yep. Oh, my neck. I can't sleep at night.
My back,
everything hurting. Mm-hmm. I can't. My mind is gone. I keep having nightmares and cold sweats. Oh yeah, that's coming. I need $2 million to make it go away.
Right. So
man, that's wild.
But now that's really all I got, man. I'm ready for this draft. Ready to kick off this draft season, man. I got a 4-rounder I'm gonna drop. I'm working on 3. I got a 4-rounder ready. I just need to put the video together and drop it. I was trying to keep it up with the mock draft Monday, but next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, is the next Thursday or the Thursday after?
I, I'm not sure. Wait a
It's
minute.
the 25th. Next Thursday. Next
Yes,
Thursday is the
next
first
Thursday.
round.
So we in. So we'll
Next
make
Thursday is
sure
first round.
we're gonna have I'll try to get Steve on here live from the draft and see just the experience. See if he can give us some little bit of insight on the experience of being there. And we could just tap it up with him for maybe about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It won't take too much of his time. But I'll tap in with him and find out uh if he's available or when he's available. If not, man, we can close it out. Y'all make sure you want to close it out, bro. I'll close it out. We good.
Hey, y'all make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Y'all see it down there. Y'all see it down there.
Definitely. Check in with D's Corner. Make sure to keep an eye out for Noel's nonsense. To my Noel's watching the show, I'm looking forward to meeting and seeing everybody at the spring game. I am coming to the big game Spear Addicts tailgate show, tailgate, and I'm looking forward to just the season upcoming, the spring game this weekend, the draft next weekend. It's some big things coming up. We're gonna get ready for our draft show, man. I'm looking real forward to it. But we like to thank everybody for watching. Once again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It's easy, it's free. You don't have to do nothing but hit the like button and the subscribe button. Just hit that little
Absolutely. Help
thumbs
us
up. We
grow.
really appreciate it. Help us grow to our next place. We really appreciate it. Thank everyone. Peace out.